Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. BAM weather meteorologist Brett Waltz here, giving you a long-range forecast update, guys. I hope y'all are doing well this morning. Let's hop right into it. Hope you all had a great weekend as well. We take a look at the current radar this morning. We still have some heavy rain ongoing in parts of the Central Plains and into parts of Missouri here, eastern Kansas, Topeka, Jefferson City, Columbia, Missouri. Some heavy rain ongoing this morning. If we put the radar into motion, you can see here, not moving anywhere super fast over the last hour or so. So again, dropping some heavy rain in there. We also have a storm cluster across parts of central Minnesota, moving towards the Minneapolis area this morning. If we take a look at the observed rainfall here over the last 7 days, some of this rain in central Missouri, some very critical rains, because this is a spot that has been skipped out over the past 7 days. We take a look further to the north and to the east. You can see a heavy corridor of rain across central and southern Illinois, the southern half of Indiana, into parts of Kentucky and Ohio. Most of Iowa here cashing in on decent rainfall over the past 7 days. A couple of spots here in southwestern Iowa got skipped over, east central, southeastern parts of Nebraska, but all things considered, the vast majority did pretty well in the rain department over the last 7 days. A couple of areas that I still think we need to at least monitor, especially this area in here across parts of the northern Ohio Valley. It's where the rain totals have been a little bit messier in nature. It's where things have gotten drier. If we take a look here at the soil moisture indications, you can see that especially across northern Indiana, northern Illinois, northwest Ohio, and into parts of Michigan. So these areas still need some rainfall. And I would say especially for parts of northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, there should be some opportunities ahead. We've had some rain through here. They could still use a little bit more. We do have some rain going on in Kansas this morning, but that's another spot maybe to keep an eye on. But all things considered, pretty good shape for a good majority of the primary growing regions. Much of Iowa in very good shape. Minnesota, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, the lower Ohio Valley in pretty good shape overall. The Dakotas in pretty good shape overall. So really, other than those few spots, pretty good shape here with more rain chances on the way over the next 7 days. Taking a look at that, next 7 days in terms of our temperatures here, above normal temperatures across the eastern half of the country. We've been talking about this period for a good bit of time now. This area in general averaging out 5-8 degrees plus above normal. You can see that's maybe ticked a little bit further east compared to the initial forecast last week to encompass much of Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, into parts of Indiana here, guys. And so much above normal temperatures throughout this week, though I will say the majority of that is with overnight lows. Daytime highs will certainly get hot, especially across the Central Plains, but the overnight lows will be more above normal than the daytime highs because of how humid it is, and because of how humid it is, we have additional rainfall chances on the table. Looks like a messier pattern this week across the Ohio Valley and parts of the Midwest, with the heaviest rainfall coming across the Dakotas into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now, if we take a look at the forecast into the week 2 time frame to close out July and start out August, not quite as warm in the Midwest. We do have a little bit of a moderation middle part of the week 2 time frame. We'll touch more on that here in a moment, but still the warmth is winning out. Above normal temperatures winning out, just the core of it maybe a little bit further south and west in this week 2 time frame. And with that, continued moisture opportunities. Again, not seeing widespread extended dryness. Could you have 3-4 days in here or there for the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Central Plains? Sure, but there's going to be additional opportunities for really much of the ag belt. The areas that are more likely to be a little bit drier, the further south and west that you go. Taking a look here at just the rainfall evolution as we go throughout this week. This is the GFS model. Don't take it verbatim, just giving you kind of a general idea. You can see the more widespread and consistent waves of moisture out through Thursday morning across the northern plains and the upper Midwest. And then we start to get into more of this messy northwest flow pattern again, hit or miss rain and storm opportunities into the weekend across the eastern ag belt and the Ohio Valley. And that will continue as we work even into early next week. And again, as we touched on a moment ago, it will lead to this messy look in terms of observed rainfall totals the next 7 days. Again, this is an area that I want to keep an eye on just from a lack of rain recently in this region. It does look like there will be some opportunities, but as this highlights, probably will continue to be some spots that get skipped over with the heaviest rains missing to the north and to the west. Here's a look at those temperatures and those low overnight temperatures as we work over the next 7 days. You can see all the squares tonight. That is record-breaking warm, low temperatures. That will continue to be something that we deal with periodically over the next 7 days. You can see some record-breaking warm, low temperatures in the Midwest as we work into Wednesday morning. That will shift into the Great Lakes, all the way down through the lower Mississippi River Valley region as we work into Thursday morning. Low temperatures in the mid to upper 70s for a pretty widespread portion of the eastern half of the country. Look at all the squares in the mid-Atlantic as we work into Saturday morning, and so just consistently much above normal overnight lows. But with our highs, you can take a look at this. Kind of the core of heat will be for daytime highs across the central part of the country. Upper 90s to 100s being possible. Some of that does bleed into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, as we work into the middle part of this week, but it's not substantial. Low to mid 90s possible. Heat indices will be a bigger story, I think, with the humidity. But those more notable upper 90s to 100s will likely stay more so across parts of the southern plains over the next 7 days. Now, in terms of that front, as we work into next week and the overall evolution here, you can see there's the tendency for this ridge and this dome of heat to hang around in the eastern portion of the country the next 7 days. Tries to resurge a little bit more so in the central U.S. as we work into next week, and that will open the door for this front. It's weak. It's not going to be super strong, but you can kind of see here it allows for some cooler air, more moderated air to come down across the eastern third of the country as we work into the middle part of next week. Not expecting temperatures to really dive notably below normal or anything like that, but a couple of days in here to end July and to start August that are more seasonable to cooler for the Great Lakes and the Northeast U.S. certainly will be on the table. Between fronts, probably warms back up again. You can kind of see this here, but more dominant heat across the southern and the southwestern part of the country as we start out the month of August. Now, what I think can happen as we work towards August 4th, there's the potential that we see kind of a reinforcing shot of some cooler air. There's a strong cold front signal here in the North Pacific. This is something we've been talking about for a while, kind of the 3rd to 5th time frame. We take a look. This is the AI European ensemble model. It's trying to see this by the 4th or the 5th of the month, trying to see the warmth really shifting west for a time, trying to funnel in some more seasonable or slightly below normal air as we work into the start of the week 3 time frame. However, as we've also been discussing, it's probably short-lived. So a cooler stretch, or at the very least a more moderated stretch with more seasonable temperatures possible to close out the first week of August, maybe to start the second week of August, but the signal is certainly that the heat can come back as we work into that second week of the month. And I would argue that if we take a look at the CFS weekly, it's probably showing this pretty well. I wouldn't be shocked if into this week 4 time frame, if kind of the corridor of the much above normal temperatures shifts back a little bit further to the east than modeled. But the general idea here of week 4 being hotter and week 3, some lingering seasonable to cooler air across the northern and eastern portion of the country, I think is pretty reasonable. Wouldn't be shocked if it ticked a touch cooler in parts of the Ag Belt, Nebraska, Iowa, but all things considered, I like the idea of a more seasonable to slightly cooler idea as we work into that first week or so of August, trending hotter with time. Matches up very well with what our weeks 3 and 4 outlook looked like. Again, with week 3 being one that's more moderated and week 4 potentially being more notably hot again, which is the second week of August, I'd say, especially the 9th or the 10th and beyond. What about precipitation? Well, there's the potential with these fronts in the eastern part of the country that rain may not be as widespread as we get that front to come in. Probably some rains with the front itself, but maybe suppresses moisture a little bit, still active across the northern portions of the Ag Belt. And then we get back into more of this northwest flow pattern as we work into the week 4 time frame. Overall, again, matches pretty well with what our weeks 3 and 4 outlook would indicate. Not anticipating it really to be bone dry anywhere, but maybe not as active for parts of the lower Ohio Valley as we have been. Some of those areas picking up 3 to 5 inches of rain just over the past 7 days. So that's a general idea of the evolution ahead, guys. Again, next 7 days, very warm, very muggy overall. We have a little bit of a moderation in week 2, but still averaging out hotter than normal. I would target the start of week 3 for maybe a more widespread moderation in the hotter than normal temperatures before heat tries to come back the second week of the month. Guys, that's all that I have for now. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great rest of your day.